Happy midday in the Eastern time zone. And welcome to Tim and Joel Call It in the Ring, where we talk about all of the wrestling that was mid this week.
It wasn't the great week in wrestling, was it?
Yeah, I'm finding a hard time finding reasons to get excited.
So you and I took last week off. We were both traveling. You were with family. I was with family, and I kind of DM'd you and I was like, "Hey, have you watched anything?" And you said what you watched, and I told you what I watched, and I was like, "Let's just take the week off," because it felt like the week was nothing. Like the news about what's going on in the backstage of wrestling seemed to be more pertinent than what was going on in the actual storylines of wrestling. And you and I preach every week how like we don't really want to sit and talk
about it.
The Vince McMahon storyline, the Vince McMahon story, and we don't want to talk about like some even today. Like I put out the whole, what do you guys want to talk about? And immediately the first thing people sent was like the Michael Elgin stuff. I'm like, I don't want to talk about Michael Elgin either, because like
Michael Elgin.
Honestly, the guy's just he's saying his own stupid shit. Let him make the jokes, because he's making jokes about himself, talking about I'm not owned, I'm going back to Canada because someone died. Like whatever it is, it's just anyway. It's just not important.
It's fine.
Like we're not gonna hit that. I'm sorry. Other shows will do that. We'll talk about wrestling. We'll talk about the shows. We'll talk about what we like, what we don't like. We'll also tell you, hey, how you doing? It's good to see you. And if you're in the chat, hello. You can donate super chat, and that'll get your question or statement around the air. It'll support us here at Fightful Overbooked, because that's always nice. We appreciate it when you guys and girls and your friends beyond the binary, when you do that, because we are self-funded here, and we're self-sufficient, right? We try our best. We are absolutely on top of this. And what else are we doing here? We got our Discord, huh? Don't we have a Discord? There's a link in the description of the video. You can go ahead and join that. And while you're here, while you're hanging out, leave a thumbs up on this video. There's a comment too if you want to after the fact. You can leave a comment on the video. You can subscribe to us here at Fightful Overbooked. Talk about us. We drop stuff every single day. There's content coming literally 7 days a week, sometimes twice a day. Tim, how are you otherwise?
So tired. Like so tired. I need more coffee. Maybe
I have some caffeine. I have some caffeine in front of me. I'll be having that soon. I'm in my remote location. I'm in the bunker, so obviously it's going to be a good week. And we have a lot to talk about. Where do you want to start? You want to talk about Raw?
Let's talk about Raw.
So Raw was probably the best thing this week, in my opinion. Oh, you know what? Actually, there's one thing that I think was better, and that was something that happened on Friday night on SmackDown. We'll talk about that.
No way.
What do you think of the Brock segment with Heyman?
The whole first hour of Raw, what happened? Why were they all so like? Even Heyman was like off his game. Brock said a bunch of gibberish. Like none of that really made sense. And the pyro was off. And then Theory came out, and then he stumbled over some lines. Like no one was like dialed in to start Raw. It was very strange.
I like the segment itself when we got to the Brock versus Alpha Academy, just beating the shit out of them. The segment itself, the promos, they're fine. They're nothing special. Again, we're trying to talk people into a match that we've seen 100 million times, and we're trying to talk about shoehorning in a guy that nobody wants to see as Money in the Bank holder as winning the WWE Championship. And again, no one's really being like, ooh, Theory, he's going to be the guy to dethrone Roman. Not one person has said that. So it gets a little frustrating that we're sitting here watching Raw and being like, these are the three people we have to sit and watch. Like, this isn't the best opener we could think of. But again, I was entertained by the end of the segment because Brock beat the shit out of someone and did it well.
Yeah, he did it well. How they ended up there, I don't fully understand. Like, there's no logic behind it. And it's just like, and like, I'm tired of listening to the Raw commentary. I really don't like them anymore. Like,
that's been for a while.
It's getting on my nerve. Yeah, but like, and whatever. WWE commentary, aside from with Pat McAfee now, but like for a while was not the best. But now it's just like them having to, and it's not their fault. It's what they're being told to do. It's the parroting of the tree trunk Otis. Like it literally sounds like Transformers in the 80s, like these cartoons that were made to sell toys. Like there's no story, there's no effort put into it. They're really just standing up this stuff to pump out things, and they're not creating characters, they're creating brands, and it's exhausting. Stop calling Otis a tree trunk. He's like, I don't know, it doesn't work. It's not interesting. It's not an identity. And that F5 wasn't an F5. Like he did it effortlessly, but that's not what the F5 is, so that's fine.
See, I see someone in the chat saying, "I hope someone challenges Theory for the Money in the Bank briefcase." That's the problem with Money in the Bank for the last few years. It's always been someone wins it, and then someone has to challenge for the briefcase, and everyone's like, "Oh, they're going to get the briefcase off this person because we can't stand." They did it with Otis in 2020.
I know that, and we didn't like that. I didn't like that anyway. I remember us talking about it, and I was
Yeah.
like, "No, have Otis cash in." Like have him lose, even if you're not ready to get all behind Otis. But Otis back then was money, in my opinion. But
Not only that, at the time we could have done a someone finally challenges for a title that's not the WWE Championship. They could have they could have done the tag titles when it was Otis and Tucker.
Yep.
And Heavy Machinery
and that
could
would
have
have
won
been
the tag
perfect.
titles.
Yeah, we talked about that because, like, made sense. And anyway, Tucker's weird. Not as distraught about his loss, but anyway.
Yeah, and like Brutality's in the chat being like the new vicious Viking Raiders and the skyscraping Shanky, the tree trunk Otis. Like
it's exhausting listening to because it's dumb. Like my brain can't handle how inane this programming has become to listen to, like, in the moment. The segments are still there that, again, they're creating those moments, and I get it, but like I don't want to go back and watch pieces of a show on YouTube. I'll watch the show or I'll just not watch it all, and it's getting to the point where I'm just like,
So WWE is about to hit a really interesting pothole here because we're talking about all these marketing names, and really these names are being marketed towards kids. They're being marketed to make toys and stuff like that. But meanwhile, the news came out today that they might be switching over to a TV-14 rating of a product, at which point kids are, well, I mean, listen, 14-year-olds maybe still play with action figures, but like the kids, it's a really strange thing to do.
I don't know what is happening.
Well, so neither do they.
It's very rudderless, and you can tell like that they don't know what the next step is. It's weird. It's got a very strange feeling right now because this is also SummerSlam coming up, right? One of their like two big ones. It's their mid-year big shenanigans show. So far, we have 3 rematches and then another like third time rematch which they're treating as the rubber match, even though Brock's 0-2. Like,
yeah, this year. And if you look at the entirety of the feud, it's like it's not there. It's not even. It's a very strange. Yeah, you're right. SummerSlam is normally treated as a much bigger event. They're treating it big in that they're having it in a stadium and the tickets are selling. Logan Paul coming back obviously influences a lot of different fans that are not necessarily regular wrestling fans. Cool, that's fine. But again, like I'm seeing that there's this potential change on the horizon, and it's not official yet. Andrew Zarian said that it was going to happen, and then it was kind of a big mix-up, and they don't know if it's going to happen. Long story short, we'll find out tomorrow night on Raw whether or not they market themselves as TV-14 again. If they do, I mean, it's strange because remember when we were kids watching the Attitude Era stuff, and I'm not going to say that this isn't a better or worse comparison. This is actually the point I'm making. It's that when we were kids, we watched the Attitude Era because it was risque and like, oh, we shouldn't be watching this, but we did because we were kids and we, it was there, it was for us. It was forbidden fruit. And if that's kind of what they're thinking, and they're still going to keep marketing the wrestlers as these toys with these marketing buzzwords like tree trunk and skyscraper, then I don't know. I don't know what to expect from the marketing. I don't think much is going to change.
No, honestly, I don't. Like, because I'm trying to think of what a TV-14 even gives them that they're not already doing. Like, they're not going to start. I don't think they're going to reintroduce blood. They're not going to go back in the way of their misogynist past. Like, I don't know what it adds. They can say bitch a few more times.
That was my favorite.
They can talk about balls some more. Like, is that it? Like, is it just this toxic idiocy? Like,
I made the joke when they said the TV-14 thing, and I was just like, Natty's running back to Raw to say bitch in every segment.
Yeah.
And then everyone else was just like, oh, Cody's back and he can bleed. I think Garrett Kidney, who does stuff with Impact, was like, smart of Cody to get blood. The biggest winner is Cody, who can now get bleeding externally instead of internally on TV, or something like that. It's very funny. Yeah, you can call him Seth effing Rollins.
If you call him Seth effing Rollins, then sure.
That's right. So anyway, so listen, we had a bunch of matches. We had Mysterio versus Balor. Balor actually won. The match was good. They kind of had to go there.
The match was good. I don't know what's going on. I haven't been paying enough attention to Raw, apparently. Judgment Rhea's hurt. I guess I forgot or didn't know that. Judgment Day is there, and why? What are
They
they?
need-
What are they angry about? Even the commentary was just like, we don't even know what their motivation is, and I was like, that's the entire roster. I don't
Yes.
know anyone's motivation. Like,
And I'm sitting there and I'm like, they need a fourth member. Like Rhea Ripley was going to be a great addition to their group, but of course she's out, she's injured, and now they've got to find someone. They got to find a third, maybe a third man or just another woman, whatever it is. They have to find someone who's just going to break them out.
yeah, they really do. If anything, I'd add 2 people just as a backup because everybody's getting hurt all the time nowadays. So like, they need something, and I don't know what. I guess they're courting Dominic, which is
So they're in New York this week. They're running MSG, and I've been saying since they ran San Diego, I was saying you should have Dominic beat the shit out of Rey Mysterio because it's his like 20th year anniversary with WWE, and this is the perfect time to do it. You do it in his hometown, 25th anniversary, 20th, whatever it is,
20th,
and then. But now they're saying maybe at MSG they'll do it, and I'm like, all right, fine. It's a little late, but at least we're getting there.
Dominic just turns to him. He's like, you know what? You were a bad fatter. Like,
Fodder. That's the worst fodder there is. But hey, you know what? Thanks to Tom Talks Rubbish saying, what up? Our interviews drop next week. I've been waiting on those every single week. I'm just like, hey, did he put them up yet? Has he put up our interviews yet? Where are our interviews? And I keep wondering whether or not I said anything that was time sensitive, but I don't think I did.
No.
Anyway, check out Tom Talks Rubbish on YouTube. He's great. Great interview. Has a lot of really fun subjects on his channel. Great people who have talked to him. Go check him out. Tim and I, and we also spoke to Tom. So we're looking forward to having those interviews drop.
Fatter. Finn Balor himself, not a fatter. So I don't know.
So I missed this, but I'm looking at my notes, and apparently there was a graphic that touted the amount of fans that attended WrestleMania weekend. Do you know what that number was? This is the two nights combined. How many people do you think attended WrestleMania weekend?
I don't know, 20,000.
No. Come on. 2 nights in that stadium.
2 nights total, 150,000.
Actually, you're very close. 156,352.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's 80,000 capacity. Didn't figure it sold out completely. So,
what are you saying? Of course it did.
Oh yeah, they'll tell you it did. That is the maximum capacity for sure.
Bianca versus Carmella for the 8th time was actually pretty good match.
Pretty good.
No reason to do it. Great counter doing the what was it?
The X-Pac.
The X Factor.
X Factor. Yeah.
I liked it. It was good. Good match. And of course they do the count out finish. So they're running it back on Monday.
I mean, Becky looked great, sounded great. She was the highlight, but like, what are we doing? We're building to Becky and Bianca again at SummerSlam? Woo.
No, make it a 3-way. Please, for the love of God, make it a 3-way. I need
just
to get
with
that
Carmella
prediction.
there annoying people.
Yes, have Mella there to eat not to eat the pin. She gets the pin and she becomes the Raw Women's Champion.
You know what? That sounds
funny
as hell. Do it. Just do it.
Another year where everyone's just pissed off that Bianca loses.
Corey can bust out like his case of Dom Perignon. Like, just be as obnoxious as possible and have her take the title at SummerSlam. I think that's honestly the most interesting direction you can take this, because.
And the next night on Raw, because it's TV 14, hear me out, Tim. A live sex celebration.
Yeah. Yes.
Look at us. Look at us booking TV 14 Raw.
This is what I talk. You don't need to go back to misogyny if you treat everyone like a sex object. just make it everybody, as long as it's the men too who are just as sexy. So.
And then Bailey comes back. It's Bailey versus Carmella. Bailey beats Carmella, and there you go. Everyone's happy.
Just order is restored.
Yeah, and then we go to Bailey versus Bianca, and Bianca just wins the title again.
There you go.
That's a great way to devalue your championship.
It's already thoroughly devalued. Where are the women's tag titles, Joel? Where are they?
I don't know, but they ran a women's tag match on Raw, and I was like, why are we doing this? Why do you have women's tag championships?
What is Alexa Bliss now? This is the first time I'm hearing the new music, and it just sounds like, the like pop punk stuff. But she still got the doll because they refused to let go of the doll. So
the doll sells, buddy.
Yeah, I know. So what is Alexa Bliss?
She's a doll.
Mess. Like,
she is a woman who has a doll. I don't know. I don't really care about Alexa Bliss anymore. I don't think most people.
Because she's got no character. No one has any characters. Everyone's just chaos. Asuka just does this all the time. Like, no motivation.
Character.
No one has any goals. They're all just doing weird emulatable moves they can throw onto an action figure.
Everyone's doing bits.
Yeah.
Oh man, Miss TV with Ciampa. We don't need to talk about that, but we do need to talk about AJ Styles and Ezekiel in a match together,
That was
winning.
Yeah.
That was a good match, but it was another DQ
good match.
finish.
But again, Ciampa, what's his motivations? He wants them eyes. Give me them eyes. I want them.
He's gonna have an eye for an eye match with Rey Mysterio before the end of the year.
Jesus. Yeah, probably. Going back to Rey Mysterio, I don't even remember why. Did they explain why they beat the crap out of Edge? Just because they wanted a change?
Like they wanted to get rid of the old guy. That was pretty much it.
Also not okay. Yeah, I guess he's younger. Yeah, he's pretty old.
Finn's 40 to Edge's 45.
Wow.
I think Edge is 45. Let's find out. Using the wonders of the internet.
Adam Copeland age.
Adam Copeland. I gotta do this with one hand.
Edge.
That's true. It would, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
He is 48 years old.
Okay.
He'll be 49 soon.
Yeah. This is fun. This is a fun show.
This is a great show. I'm glad we get to do this every week. And sometimes we actually enjoy ourselves. Drop a thumbs up while you're here. And then
it sucks that or Ezekiel's soundbite is just repeating that he's Elias's younger brother.
Yes.
That's it. Like
apparently the Elias thing was supposed to happen. They were supposed to do more Elias stuff, and then they decided not to. Credit to Fightful Select, by the way.
What are we doing here?
That's right. I don't know. What was it? Usos and Omos? Sure, they got the win. That was actually a really funny segment. R-Truth comes out, does the whole like, I have a referee certificate. I have it.
Of course, yeah. Which is that's a fine bit for R-Truth. I like that he's just like questionably qualified for everything.
Yes.
That's good. And he got to wrestle in a match. Love that. Big ups
and
to
get
that.
pinned and not get pinned. I should say
not get pinned. Yeah, it was Dawkins.
Yeah, good on Dawkins taking the heat for his team.
He knew he was getting it back on Friday.
That's true. Lashley and Riddle versus Rollins and Theory was supposed to be Riddle versus Theory, and then the internet jumped down WWE's throat, rightfully so. Riddle and Theory, Riddle and Lashley win the match. I got nothing to add.
Yeah, I don't know what, why. So Theory's facing Lashley. Why?
I don't know. You know what's? Yeah. You know what? We're totally burying the lead. It's the summer of Dolph Ziggler.
Oh yeah, he came back and he's a face for some reason.
So Dolph Ziggler comes out and everyone's just like, "Oh, what's he doing here?" And I'm just like, every summer you ask the same question and it's the same answer. He comes back. He says it should have been me. And then he super kicks someone and he challenges them to a career versus title match. And one of these years, he's actually going to lose his career. And then they're still going to bring him back the next summer.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
What are we doing here?
I truly don't know. This is...
It's
crazy. It is bananas to me how much money this makes. And it's so effortless. They don't even try anymore. The pyro wasn't even cued right.
Career versus briefcase. That's it.
Oh, that's totally it.
And it's awful. And he's gonna win. And or if he loses, he'll just be like, I'm gonna go do stand-up. Everyone's gonna be like, you weren't already just doing stand-up? Like, what have you been doing?
It's also like, don't quit your day job stand-up. But anyway.
So don't get me wrong, like chat, I know before you say like I like Dolph and you know y'all are just hanging on Dolph. But here's the thing. Dolph is actually great wrestler.
Love Dolph.
Great personality.
It should have been him, damn it.
He has never been booked properly.
No,
when they had him, ever since he got injured, ever since he had that whole cash in on Del Rio, and then everyone in the crowd goes nuts, and then he got injured and he had to like everything around his unfortunate injuries just messed him up.
You get hurt, Vince doesn't trust you no more because Vince is a psycho.
That's the way he sees it, and unfortunately, that's what's going on.
Watch what happens. Look at it, yeah.
And yeah, like they're pointing out in the chat, in 2016, he had a great run. He had a great run with Miz of all people because they're best friends in real life. Well, not best, they're good friends in real life. But they had that Intercontinental Championship feud on SmackDown, and it worked. It was a really good match for those two, and a really good feud for those two.
Yeah, they had chemistry.
So I don't know what to do this time. Someone asked, Mike's asking, "Where's Bobby Roode?" It's a good question.
Last saw him on NXT, he had the glorious entrance.
Yes.
And then never again.
Either way, it's just they brought him back. It was very random, and now it feels like they're going to run back a career versus blank. And if it's the briefcase, sure, why not? they're throwing so many things in the air, but going into SummerSlam that like they're not even trying to get us to question what's going on. They're just saying like, why don't you just throw up your arms and walk away? Because that's where we're at this point.
We're like 2 weeks away from SummerSlam.
We are. Next week's the go home show. Oh no, it's not. No, we're 2 weeks.
No,
we're
2 weeks away. We're 2 weeks away. Yeah. Which I don't know. This show does not scream excitement to me.
No, it doesn't. They've got 2 weeks to really ramp this thing up. But you know what ramped me up? 2 things. 1, your super chats. 2, Jeff Jarrett is the special guest referee for the tag title.
Which the logic of this is non-existent. It's just
brain searing. I love it.
Complete out of nowhere.
Okay, so
he's the Randy Orton of 2022. Jeff Jarrett out of nowhere.
We got to talk about this. So, first of all, on Monday, I was like, "There's only one man who could referee this championship match," and it was I showed a GIF for Jeff of Jeff Jarrett, and I was like, "Oh, this is gonna happen too. I know it is." Originally, I think the rumors were Jarrett or Lawler, and I'm like, they're both wrong for this. And then they decided that it was going to be Jeff Jarrett. And now everyone's just like, well, it's because it's SummerSlam and they're in Tennessee and he's from Nashville, Tennessee. I'm like, that's great. I don't care.
That's not a good explanation.
Put him literally anywhere else on the card. Literally, give him a backstage segment with a giant chicken. I don't give a shit. Why is he in the tag match? And I immediately I was like, oh yeah, that's right. Tag team specialist Jeff Jarrett here to save the day.
Capable referee, superior than the actual trained referees, Jeff Jarrett. Like,
by the way, shout out to Pat McAfee, who's like, 9-time Intercontinental Champion Jeff Jarrett, Senior Vice President of Live Events Jeff Jarrett. And I was like, oh, we're really gonna pull back that curtain. I love it. Apparently, according to my nemesis Sean Ross Sapp, there's going to be more to the Jeff Jarrett story here. Not only and it might not stick. We don't know yet, but it might not stick.
Okay, so I'm intrigued. I don't know how they can explain this though. Like, it doesn't make any, and they're not going to explain it well. Like, they might add more stuff to it, but it's still going to be weird.
It's just very strange. It was just, I think the issue is that Jarrett just has no place in this.
Yeah. And like, it's become obvious that they're leaning heavily into this feud because they saw that it was the breakaway match from Money in the Bank. And like, they've been kind of treating it sort of like this big feature on the shows. Like, they're really focused on this feud more than anything, I think, other than maybe kind of Brock and Roman, which again, like, felt pretty meandering on Monday. I like, and they're good. They're having weird matches to build it, but like, the promos are solid. Again, it's the same. Like, they're continuing to have the Usos come out and cut a promo every single week, which feels odd, but they're good promos. Like,
Kai with the super chat saying, slap nuts, GCW Global Force, Nashville's baby boy. And that's the thing. GCW is running that weekend. WWE will be in town. Ric Flair's last match is happening, and he was in the press conference, hint, hint. So clearly, Jeff Jarrett is going to be all over his home city for that weekend. So why not put him everywhere? I think, no, I'm going to keep my mouth shut for now. But Jarrett being in this match is just a little ridiculous. And a lot of people, when I said it, were like, oh, I hope he does better than his NWA referee spot. And I'm like, I don't think anyone knows or remembers what that was.
Yeah. No.
It just kind of happened. Anyway, so that's the big news coming out of SmackDown, really, because if I look up and down the card, they did the Pat McAfee promo, which was okay. I don't remember much of it.
No, it was. Yeah.
Liv Morgan won a match. So there's that.
She had to. Yeah, they have. Yeah. They're gonna have to give her a few matches. Lacey Evans is a bitch, as it were.
I mean, everyone is.
Yeah. I don't know.
Who else is winning this match? No. Then they did the New Day. Honestly, I missed the New Day segment. They
dressed up like the Viking Raiders.
Yeah, good for them.
And the Viking Raiders came out, and I think they beat some people up. But
good for them. All right, Good stuff. I'm interested in Gunther and Shinsuke Nakamura.
Yeah, that's interesting. I liked the addition of Gunther applying corporal punishment. He's just got his little sub boy. That's nice. That's a good bit. Yeah.
Slap the shit out of him. Let him know who's boss.
Exactly.
I don't mind it. And you know what? If it gets Nakamura on the card, I'm good.
Same.
If it gets the Intercontinental Championship on the card, then Gunther gets to be like, haha, Ricochet, you sucked and you never got the championship on the card, but I did.
Delightful.
And now we're
you know
back
what, you know what? I think they're doing an okay job with Gunther, minus naming him Gunther.
Let's talk about Lacey Evans.
I don't want to. Just boring. Why did they show that whole? I don't understand.
I spent weeks telling you all that this trauma porn was going to end with her turning on everyone, and that's exactly what they did. But they were so rudderless with her. Again, same thing. They just kept showing those segments, and then they bounced her back and forth between Raw and SmackDown. Then they didn't know what to do with her, and she's still boring as hell.
Yeah, now she's just like in the capes, blah blah blah.
Exactly. We're not talking about Breaking Bad right now. But yeah, she comes out. She got the what treatment, did Lacey Evans, and it was she's like, go to hell, and everyone was just like, God, I'd rather be there right now.
Yeah.
And poor Aaliyah, by the way, who came out and had to like stand there for basically 20 minutes doing nothing.
That's like her job, though. They just have her stand there and do nothing now.
Like, true. Hey, go buy yourself some new gear and then come out to the ring for a while. It was just so bad. She was working the house shows. At least there's that.
That's good. Yeah.
God. Drew McIntyre and Ridge Holland with Sheamus and Butch. I don't mind that Drew has to go through Fight Night to get to Sheamus. What do you think of the Sheamus gimmick where he's like, I have COVID, I have monkeypox? Is that funny to you?
No.
Is it offensive to you?
No.
Okay, just make
it's it's not interesting to me. It's an obvious way to waffle because they don't have story ideas, so they're just doing the same. Like, it really feels like the touring circus right now, where they're just standing up the same show every week. Like, there's not a lot happening.
I do like that Heyman kept walking up and saying, "You're still better than Kayla" to Megan Morant every time he was on screen. I thought it was cute. Yeah. He interviewed Morant interviews Madcap Moss. Highlight of the night, by the way. Theory and Madcap Moss had a great match, and someone had pointed out on Twitter, like in 5 to 10 years, this will be not even maybe in 5 years or less. This will be a WWE title match.
These are the guys. They're pinning everything, which is like, I'm fine with Moss. Theory, I don't see it, but like if Vince McMahon stays on as head of creative, then I think these are the guys. Like, these are the guys, unless one of them gets injured, in which case they will be thrown to the curb immediately.
These are the guys. This is the guy right here.
It's happening.
Give them both titles.
That's your future.
That should be the future. That is my.
I don't. It is the future. I'll say it with confidence.
Yeah, this is the guy that you need is Madcap Moss. He is the man.
Will he remain Madcap, do you think, the entire time?
I think so. Unless he's just like, I'm going to go back to my roots and be Riddick, and everyone's just like,
I think, yeah. Nah. If they do revert, he's going back to Riddick, because that's a strongish name. You know,
it's a name. Just call him Moss.
No, I don't like Moss.
Call him Pete Moss.
Moss is a thing in the world, and it's
sure,
it's not strong.
So I like that he does. Heyman does. He puts him over, and then, it says like you could be challenging for the WWE Universal Heavyweight Championship, and I like that Moss kind of blew him off. I'm a big fan of that. We're getting bigger things for Moss. I'm a big fan.
Yeah,
good stuff. Our friend Luis joins, and he's like, I joined as soon as we're talking about Madcap. Absolutely, yes. We Riddick. No, all caps.
No, absolutely not. That's too far. See, I'm fine with Riddick Moss. Like,
how about Walter Moss?
Just repurpose.
Just repurpose the name.
Like, no. We had to add a last name so that we could own it.
Pete Dunne Moss.
Oh yeah. Give him Pete Dunne. Yeah, just take somebody else's actual NXT name. Just do it.
Just give it to him. JD Salinger.
LA Knight. There you go. He looks like he could pull off an LA Knight.
As long as he gets to go, yeah.
Anyway. Oh, I miss
Well, Max Dupree is the guy now.
Yeah, but it's not. Max Dupree is not anywhere near as or like LA Knight.
But is it annoying as hell?
Yeah, which is
then it's doing the job.
No, it's doing. Exactly. He's doing a phenomenal job because he is phenomenal.
So they do the hype video where they're talking about how great it was to do the tennis collection and the introduction of Mace and Mansoor, and they were both good. Yes. So many balls in the pocket.
Oh,
Titillating the juices of your guilty pleasure.
it's very titillating.
That's a line that I didn't think I would remember today, and it's in my brain.
there.
So
It's in
clearly
there.
it's working. They do they pump up the beachwear collection next week, and then they're like, oh, and by the way, Max has a sister, Maxine Dupree.
Love it. Good.
Buddy, it's Ginny, and I'm so fucking stoked. I drop an F-bomb and your webcam goes dead.
Yeah, the camera didn't like it. It's got very delicate sensibilities.
So I'm almost positive it's Ginny, and I'm very excited for this. I don't know if you're familiar with Ginny.
I'm Googling who's Ginny.
Ginny is a wrestler who was with NXT UK. And
Ginny
she's
Sandu.
I think so, yeah. Jinny. And she is currently married recently.
This is a good look.
To Gunther.
Yeah.
So they came over together. Yeah, she's perfect. She looks like Max in certain ways.
100%. This works. Love it.
She's got that jawline. Yeah, she's got the jaw that goes with Max Dupree. I'm excited for this, and if it's Ginny, I will just be on the floor laughing, and I will be loving every minute of it.
Love it.
Go search Ginny if you're unaware of who she is. She's a solid wrestler. She's not the best. Yeah, if they go to wrestle, if they're 14 plus now, they're gonna do Maxine with the triple X. That's how
was that also for SmackDown or just for Raw?
No, it's just for Raw. So
yeah.
move Max Dupree and co over to Raw. And yeah, actually, Ace points out a good point. Fashionista gimmick. That's what Ginny was doing.
Yeah, she's got
NXT.
the look for it. She's got the look for it. Like,
yeah,
it works.
People are pointing out the original NXT Maxine. That's probably not going to happen for multiple reasons. So anyway, Theory and Metcalf was a good match. And then they did Jimmy Uso versus Dawkins. Match doesn't matter because then they revealed Jeff Jarrett, and then they brawled, and then they went off the air. That show ended awfully. Not good.
Yeah. I guess everyone just got into a fighting mood when they're like, Jeff Jarrett, what the hell? Why? And then they're like, I take out my anger.
Who else could it be? If it's not Ginny, who else would Maxine Dupree be?
Who hasn't been Io Shirai? Who hasn't been on NXT TV in a while?
Someone's pointing out if it's Max Dupree in drag, and I'm just thinking like they would do that, and Vince would think it's hilarious.
He would. And it might be hilarious because it is LA Knight. What's his name? What was his other name? I don't know what his name is.
Eli Drake.
Yeah. Anyway, he might pull it off. It doesn't sound all that funny, but he's a special talent. So.
Someone's saying Aaliyah, Tiffany Stratton. I think it's gonna be an introduction. Jason Jane, Zoe Stark. That's the one.
Oh my god, man. I forgot about it. No, she got injured. She's buried.
So Zoe Stark. It feels like, I don't know if you've been keeping up with NXT. I've dropped a couple of weeks, but I've been catching these. They did the QR codes, and the QR codes have some sort of hints. It feels like the QR codes are for the return of Zoe Stark.
Yeah.
Which, if it happens, sure, she's ready to come back. She's not injured anymore, recuperated. So why not have her
make so many friends?
There you go. Speaking of which, you want to talk about best friends? You want to talk about the TNT Championship match from Dynamite?
Yes.
I don't. Orange Cassidy and Wardlow open up Dynamite this week. I missed some of this match, not all of it. I don't know why they did the match. Honestly,
this is my thoughts on AEW right now. They're standing up, entertaining matches. I enjoyed the match for what it was. Narratively, it makes no damn sense. It derails everything. I don't know what Wardlow is because, like, while his new theme is dope, what is his character? Like, I thought they were trying to build him as Joe Everyman, which I also thought was stupid. But he's being like, his music makes him seem just like a monster. Like, it's very heavy with the scream vocals. So, and then, he was funny. It was a funny match. I would have loved seeing that on the indies, but it doesn't, like, why are they fighting? Rankings, I guess.
Yeah. So I did like the Wardlow ripping out the pocket.
It was great. That was a great spot. Like, and then Orange Cassidy putting the straps back up. Like, it was a good match. I enjoyed the match. It just doesn't make a damn bit of sense. Yeah.
Yeah. There was no point in doing it, especially it's two faces, two very over faces. And my issue becomes with Orange Cassidy. So a lot of people like to shit on the gimmick with him, and I don't think the gimmick is the issue.
Yeah.
It's the way that he's being built, because they keep bringing him back, giving him a bunch of random wins, and like giving him wins on Dark, on Elevation, and then basically padding up his win-loss, and then giving him a title match or something of a big match where he loses. When does Orange Cassidy win the big one and actually start getting more? It's not about being serious, but when does he does he become more serious in the eyes of the booking that's involved?
Yeah, like that because he's got a character that can work for whatever you need. You've shown that he can get serious and it works narratively. And like, I just don't know. It feels like the whole show minus a couple of gimmicks or a couple of feuds are just kind of there, and they're just booking like crazy to make everyone happy, and Ring of Honor stuff going on. There's just so many threads, man. I don't know.
Christopher Jericho comes out and he's got a message for Edward Kingston.
I didn't like this promo at all.
Why? You don't like him calling Eddie a mark on TV?
Yeah, it's boring. I also, the Painmaker is hilarious to me because it's lame. Like, it's the lamest look.
Undefeated, buddy.
Yeah, that's nice. He's a murder clown. Is that his gimmick?
Yeah, pretty much. No, he's a droogie. He's a droogie from Clockwork Orange.
Yeah. I don't care for that. With something about blood washing the again, it was a bunch of line. Oh, so much blood that it would make Noah and all the animals on the ark jealous. And I was like, that doesn't make sense. You just said a thing that is gibberish, because what? Like they weren't like happy about that. Anyway, the flood.
I've decided that next week they need to do a face-to-face Eddie Kingston and Chris Jericho, and it needs to be moderated by one man. Do you know who that man is, Tim?
Eric Bischoff.
No.
It's always Eric Bischoff.
No, Jesse the Body Ventura has to do it, because
awesome.
I don't know if you listened to it this week, but he was on Talk is Jericho talking about his potential run for president. And buddy, I have never heard Jericho more just not confused, but just conflicted as he was when Body started talking about January 6th. Because boy, howdy, Jericho did not know how to respond to those comments. And by the way, for those who haven't heard it yet, there are snippets online, but Jesse is not happy. He is not happy about January 6th. He's not happy about the Republican Party. He is not a happy camper. And those who know about Jericho know about Jericho. So he was just like very awkward position, and it was hilarious to listen to Jericho squirm through it.
That sounds awesome.
It was delightful.
I don't want to listen to Talk is Jericho, but that sounds so fun.
I will probably listen to it again because it was very, very funny. Oh man, good stuff. People asking what's the hate on Jericho. People don't hate
Jericho.
It's not that people hate Jericho. It's people have problems with Jericho's politics and some of his stupid takes.
That's whatever. No, like I just didn't like this promo. I actually enjoy this feud, and I'm quite looking forward to the match. I don't like the Painmaker. I really don't. I think that I don't like that gimmick. I like Chris Jericho.
Loss, maybe. Well, so here's the thing: Eddie beat Jericho right on pay-per-view. So
just fine. Do it again. WWE does it. Just do it.
Do we do it again? Do we have Kingston beat the Painmaker? Because they keep hitting us over the head that the Painmaker is undefeated.
Yeah, it feels like too much though.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. It's strange. Moxley and Takeshita, very good match. Please, for the love of God, do not stop it. Stop it with the Eliminators. Stop it with the this was a championship contenders match for all intents and purposes, and I just want them to stop.
Yeah, that one got a little bit lost in the weeds too, because commentary made it sound like it was for the title at the very start of the match.
Takeshita thought it was for the title.
Which, yeah. I know. I knew about that part. So it's been a little bit messy. Yeah, again, it's just
great.
Like, it was a great match. Again, like I think that the wrestling on Dynamite has been very solid. I just think that like no one's really doing good narratively.
Yeah. So match happened. Takeshita lost, so he's not getting a title match. He's upset on the internet. He's sad, and that's that. Takeshita is still very over with the AEW crowd, and we'll see where it goes. Yeah. What else are we doing here? Oh, Luchasaurus and Christian Cage. So Christian Cage's new gimmick is to come out and basically, if you have a dead father in wrestling, he's going to talk about it.
Fuck yo, daddy. Christian, fuck yo, daddy Cage.
God damn, this was a good promo though. I loved. They brought back the whole "who the fuck is Griff Garrison" thing from BTE.
It
It's
was
just
good.
it's
I
so
didn't mind
silly.
that. I didn't
It's
mind that at
perfect.
all. Yeah, I like that. Like he's like, I couldn't put my finger on it, and then just throws him in the jungle. I was like, yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
That's fine. That's good.
Anyway, so I guess that Pillman versus Cage is going to happen. First, they're going to do a tag match, I think, next week for
Yep.
Luchasaurus and Christian Cage versus the Varsity Blondes, who are also about to become more rudderless because they don't have Julia anymore. And Julia was kind of their meal ticket in this case.
Yeah, really worked for them. So,
So then what else we got? Claudio versus Jake Hager. I have nothing to say to this because I'd rather talk about Claudio coming out to confront Jonathan Gresham after Gresham's match on Rampage, and now we're doing Claudio versus Gresham at
give me
Death
that.
Before Dishonor. That's gonna be good,
And that works, and that that works for Ring of Honor stuff. The Hager match was fine. It was just again like why, and then they also had Jericho Appreciation Society come out and interrupt that, and it's like, well, I guess this feud's never getting blown off. Like,
no, God forbid, we have to go back to Blood and Guts 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Oh no, we can't be talking about the Boogaloo when Jericho's involved.
Oh God. That's a very good point. I take it back. We're not aimless the blondes are without Julia. It's true.
It's a shame because like that was actually a good gimmick. Like I don't mind that. Like that's a good mid card gimmick. The Varsity Blonde stuff, but they kind of did need the cheerleader with it. So
yeah, exactly. But yeah, I'm excited for Death Before Dishonor. I'm excited that they're doing 2 Saturday pay-per-views in a row. So Death Before Dishonor is next Saturday. The Saturday after that is SummerSlam. So Saturday pay-per-views are great. When you've got them back to back, totally doable. I can sit through those. It's going to be good. And the Death Before Dishonor pay-per-view looks great because now they're doing Briscoes and FTR 2. And we're going to talk about the other tag match in a minute from Dynamite. But that Briscoes FTR match is now a 2 out of 3 falls match. And that's going to be fun. I'm stoked. I think that should be the main event at Death Before Dishonor. See where it goes.
Yeah.
Anna Jay takes on Serena Deeb. Not much to say there because the whole point of that match was to give Serena Deeb a win and have Mercedes Martinez look like they're going to face off because they are.
Yeah. And then they did the Ty Anna backstager that was
awkward as hell. It's like, we are friends. You are hurt. Maybe we should fight because you are my hurt friend. Think about it.
Yeah, she's a heel now, though. Anyway, didn't work for me.
I don't get it. I don't know. Listen, I am sorry that we're shitting a lot of this stuff. But also, Deeb's Dojo. There you go. There it is. That's what's going to be. She already started waving the flag at dark. Okay. World Tag Team title match. Here we go. This was the main event for Dynamite. Young Bucks, Swerve in Our Glory, Team Taz. That's Powerhouse Hobbs and Ricky Starks. Great match. Very excited. Yeah. I'm going to tell you something, Tim. I was not shocked by the outcome.
No.
Because the Now Arena released their All Out poster before the end of the show.
No.
And the All Out poster featured the new AEW World Tag Team Champions. And it was sent to me, and they were like, the person who sent it to me was like, you see anything weird there? And I was like, I see Punk is on it, and he's the champion. Is he going to be back in time? And they're like, keep looking. And I looked over, and I'm like, oh no, they pulled it before the end of the main event, as far as I could tell. But yeah, it was sent to me. New tag team champions, Swerve in Our Glory, Keith Lee, Swerve Strickland. Were you in the camp that thought that it was going to be FTR versus the Young Bucks at All Out?
Kind of, I guess. I didn't really know what was going to happen. I wasn't super surprised that they dropped them quickly because like I feel like they're just kind of team players that way right now. I think it helps Swerve in Our Glory quite a bit right now. I think they needed it. It would have worked for Hobbs and Stark as well. Their tag entrance was solid. Like they work well together. Team Taz hasn't been getting a ton of shine lately. Like they've been present, but like less so with Taz. So I don't know. I feel like it's on the path to whoever has them will drop them to FTR though. So I that's another reason why I wasn't too surprised. I don't know that we needed to see the Bucks drop them because that might be a later thing. So
I put it out there when word came out after Forbidden Door that the original idea that Gato had for the IWGP World Tag Titles was that the Bucks would win them at Forbidden Door. I think FTR is going to drop those tag titles to the Young Bucks before Wrestle Kingdom so that the Young Bucks can go to Japan to do the Tokyo Dome in January
Mhm.
and not FTR. FTR also has to drop those AAA titles because, quite frankly, like there's nothing really going on there with them either. They're
Yeah.
not defending them regularly. They're just kind of holding on to them.
Well, that's
So
what
it's-
happens when you do this. So I feel like they get the titles and then they start dropping all of the titles. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I think they'll get one like kind of spotlight when they have what was it's 4 championships after this, or is it 5?
What's
If they take the AEW tag titles,
then it's 4.
then it's 4. So I think they'll get like one kind of photo op with them, and then they'll start to slowly drop everything.
Would you? But I hate that trope too.
Yeah,
they did it with Kenny when he had the titles as well.
It's hard because I don't know, but you got to get that little photo op.
So we've had a lot of teasing of breakups between like Swerve and Lee.
Yeah.
Are we still going to do that now that they're the tag champs, or are they going to like kiss and
I
make
think
up?
that's
What are we doing?
I think that's how you do the quick handoff, right? That's how FTR gets those belts.
But they just did this in NXT and it looks stupid there too. And it's not like, and it makes it even worse because Swerve and Lee are not openly involved in the world title scene. So it's not like that's like they're turning on each other because they want the world title. Because at least you can make some sense of the Roxanne and Cora Jade thing being like, I don't want tag. I want the main title. And I still think it was a dog shit turn that they did this past week on NXT. But at least comparing the two, like I get it. I had to go through way too many gymnastics to get there. But I just don't understand, what do you do with Lee and what do you do with Swerve?
I think, you have them do a kind of longer feud, have them really give each other like a lot of highlight reel stuff, and then transition them into singles titles feuds. Yeah. Like Lee can start going for the world championship, and they got 1 million belts now, so they can go for whatever they want.
Exactly. I enjoyed the match. I think a lot of people were excited to see Swerve and Lee win the tag titles. I see people in the chat saying that they would have preferred Starks and Hobbs, and I get that because they're great
totally
tag
do too. They've been doing great work. So
yeah, like not only on the mic but also in their matches, they've just been solid wrestlers that people get behind. So I agree. I don't think there was a real loser in this match other than the Young Bucks, but the Bucks are gonna probably run back with FTR for those IWGP tag titles, if I had to guess. So that was Dynamite. Rampage, honestly, other than that main event, there wasn't much to talk about that we haven't already discussed. We talked about, we didn't talk about Moriarty versus Gresham, but honestly, just a really good match, but they just kind of blew off Moriarty, and Moriarty is now going to face, who's he going to face? They did a backstager with him and, oh my God, I forgot who it was.
Man.
Wasn't
it Seidel again?
No. Someone came up to Seidel and was like, "Hey, Seidel, you're a bitch." Because every time that's what you do.
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of letting people walk all over him. So
yeah. So anyway, Dante Martin. Thank you.
Yes,
it was Dante Martin.
Yep. As it normally is. Like, that's fine.
It was just peace, love, and wrestling, and then Dante Martin's just a giant bitch. Anyway, the match was good. Again, Moriarty we got to find something with him. He's got to be the one to join a faction in Ring of Honor or to form one, whatever it is, because he's not doing much. People asking, should I watch Rampage this week? Honestly, like, you could probably get away with not watching it. There was some stuff. I mean, Christopher Daniels he called out Jay Lethal. Mimosa Joe, Ragosa Joe is eventually going to show up again and have a match, Death Before Dishonor. And the tag match with Statlander and Athena versus the Renegade Twins, kind of dog shit, because they quickly won Chris Statlander and Athena, and then out came the baddies and they beat the shit out of the faces. And I was like, what are we doing? What's the point? It's very strange. And then the Gun Club thing was silly. Like, they claimed the Gun Club had a brawl. And then the main event. So they did Private Party versus Lucha Bros. The match was great until Roosh came out. But it still felt a step off. Like, the Lucha Bros, it's not the best Lucha Bros match ever either. My favorite part of this match is, Roosh comes out. He gets in the referee, like they distract the referee. He pushes the referee, but he still loses the match. So, like, his team still loses the match.
Yeah.
It was just weird. It just felt weird.
Yeah.
It wasn't the best episode of Rampage. You could probably skip through it and get all that you need, but other than that, just an episode of Rampage. Rampage hasn't exactly been like must see. The live show that they're doing in a few weeks, that'll probably be a good one because it's the Battle of the Belts. Like they're doing Rampage and Battle of the Belts tapings, so
Okay, yeah,
that'll
that
be
sounds-
fine.
yeah.
But other than that, I mean, yeah, there's nothing left from the week in wrestling. Impact was also okay. Like I talked about it with Crest on our show every week on youtube.com/Fightful, and we basically said good show, but nothing incredible, nothing stood out.
It honestly, it feels like everyone's taking a breather right now, which is it's a strange time to do that.
So you know who's not taking a breather? We found out this week that Greektown is back August 20th in Toronto at what they're calling the Thunderdome, the Ted Reeve Arena, which is where they were last time. You called it Sad AF.
It was supposed to be Rad AF.
Yeah, tell Channing it's fine. Anyway, they also announced that they're gonna have Eddie Kingston at the show. I'm excited for that one.
I'm very excited for that one. I'm much more excited about that.
So Eddie Kingston is also, by the way, if you're in Ottawa or if you're in the area of going to both, Eddie is facing Stu Grayson at it's called Fights Back. It's a cancer awareness charity show that C4 does in Ottawa every year.
Yeah.
So Stu Grayson versus Eddie Kingston is happening on the 19th, and then the next night Eddie's coming to Toronto, and he's gonna have an appearance and hopefully a match.
Really hoping
Greektown.
for a good match.
Yeah, so if you're in Toronto, we're going to be there. It's also the 20th of August is our anniversary. Tim and I, we started this show 2 years ago in August. It was August 20th. So hopefully we'll do something special at the show. We'll talk. We'll figure something out. You know how it goes. It's all good. What else? What else do you people want to talk about? We had that was actually in response to someone asking a question on Twitter. Ron asked, what show are you and Tim looking forward to attend together in person? There's that one. I'm probably going to go to Raw when it comes to Ottawa, when it comes to Toronto, just because something to do on a Monday night.
If you can get me a ticket for around $20,
I might be able to get you a comp. We'll talk.
Yeah, okay, because that's the only way I'm going. I'm not paying more than $20 for Raw. That's my limit.
Can't blame you. August 20th might be the next takeover. Sure, I don't care. I'll go to a live show before I go to watch takeover again. I'll watch takeover afterwards. Our buddy Drew asking on Twitter, if you could just give your picks for all the matches till the end of the year so I can bet on them all successfully and make a lot of money, that would be great. Yes, Drew, bet on Roman Reigns until Cody comes back and then bet on Cody.
Yeah,
I think that's the way you should go. What else? People asking Solo and Braun being called up after SummerSlam. Solo Sikoa, absolutely. I can see after SummerSlam. Braun, I don't know. I think Braun still needs a little bit more time.
Yeah, I think they're going to let him dominate for a little longer.
You know who you bring up is Cameron Grimes.
You absolutely should bring it. He doesn't need to be there anymore, and it's getting messy.
Cameron Grimes needs to join Maximum Male Models. Now, I have a very we got to talk about this.
Okay.
Did you see any of the Dark taping results?
No.
Any of the spoilers?
I don't even look at that stuff unless it's noteworthy, and then I might catch it on Twitter. But
Parker's back.
Oh my God! Yes, I did see that. That's funny.
Parker is back. He is wrestling on Dark. Get excited because his forward rolls have improved. It's time, buddy. It's time. Are you ready for Parker in AEW? He's gonna call himself the All Elite Beast. He's gonna call himself
he's just gonna lean into a Brock Lesnar ripoff gimmick, isn't he? And AEW
100%.
might let him, which is the worst. Like,
I reblocked him because I just cannot. I don't want to see or listen to any of the shit he's about to send into his Twitter page. Like, it's just gonna be
Purple Devils as far as the eye can see.
What's that meme of like block me now, unfollow me, this is all I'm going to talk about for a month? I forget who it was. It was someone in the chat's going to remind me.
Yeah.
That is the same thing. That is Parker Boudreaux for the next month. It's just going to be him talking about his appearance on Dark. And we're all going to sit there being like, please shut the fuck up. Just stop.
That's good.
The leapfrog master.
Hey,
sure, get work.
He can play a good big man. It's just he should be his own man, not
Yes.
Brock Lesnar.
Oh, and Two Dimes also made an appearance on Dark.
Good.
Yes, he was able to get out of those cement
got out
shoes
of the
from the
cement
river.
shoes.
Yeah, good for him. You know what? He deserves to work because he's clearly got himself a good opportunity here with those cement shoes off. Anyway, that's all I got. Do you have anything else today? Oh, Parker versus Satnam Singh. That's the match.
Sounds funny to me.
It's not happened. Like, it hasn't happened,
No,
but
God,
it's
no.
going to happen, and it's going to be delicious.
Make it happen, AEW. You don't need to explain.
Tony, I know you're watching. I want Satnam Singh versus Parker Boudreaux. Here we go. Tim, let's get out of here. Where can the people find you on the internet?
Well, they can find me at Tim Stone P, TMBSTONEP, Twitter, Instagram.
Tell WWE, tell AEW to have better shows for the next week. We want to talk about the stuff we love. We'll be back in the normal, hopefully our normal selves in our normal places next week.
It's been a rough couple weeks.
That's right. Drop a thumbs up on the video. Ladies and gentlemen, friends beyond the binary, I am at Joel Pearl, JOELPEARL. We will see you next week with smiles on our faces.